What's up, guys? Welcome to Chit Chat with QT. Before we begin, please note that under the Copyright Act of 1976, Section 107, this live stream or any of my videos are shared for purposes such as commentary, education, and discussion. All information, statements, and opinions expressed here are alleged for entertainment purposes only and should be understood as such. My goal is simply to give my thoughts and spark meaningful conversations. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, like the video, click that notification bell, and share my videos with your friends and family. Thanks again for joining me, and let's go ahead and get into this video. All right, guys, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. This is something that I wanted to do for quite some time. And look, when it comes to justice, one can never be too late. So we will be going over and combing through the files when it comes to the state or the people of the state versus Holly Johnson. You guys know her government name, but we call her Holly. I actually call her For My Man Holly because to me, the things that transpired was done for her man. Okay. So I'm not going to say hello to each and every one of you, but I do thank you guys for joining me. If you have not hit the like button, please go ahead, hit that like button for me. Hey, Wanda, the nurse advocate. How are you? How are you? Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to them cuties, baby, representing. I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'll be doing this, if not every night, every other night. And as I mentioned, we are combing through the files. And when I say combing through, we taking it back and we'll continue until we are at the current day. Before I get started, Holly Johnson will be in court tomorrow, April Fool's Day. Okay. I thought that was her birthday as well, but I believe her birthday is a couple days. I don't have to believe. It is on the 7th. But what she has tomorrow is what they call a felony court call. And what that is exactly, or at least what I looked up to see, is it's just an administrative check-in hearing. So they said that the judge will call all of the felony cases because that's what she has. And is nothing as far as them introducing more evidence. If my research is correct, they will not be arguing as far as any other evidence. It's used to see whether the case is ready for trial, whether they need another continuance, or if they are moving towards a plea deal. So, what they say is going to happen tomorrow, and it's probably going to be real short. The judge or the clerk will read the case name and number. The prosecutor and defense attorney will step up and report the case status. No witnesses will be called, no evidence again, no testimony. So, that is what Holly Johnson will be doing tomorrow. They said that the attorneys or the prosecutors may say we're ready for trial, or we need more time, or we're negotiating a plea, excuse me, or we have reached a plea agreement. So typical outcomes when it comes to this type of court call, both sides may say they're ready, and I hope Holly's lawyers say she ready, because baby, if she do, it's over. It's over anyway. Has a plea deal been reached? There's a lot of chatter that's going around, and I'll bring you guys the chatter in just regular recorded videos. And allegedly, they're saying that old Holly may be ready to turn on Los. If she know what's good for her, she would do just that. Hey, Frankie. So yeah, that's all that will happen tomorrow. I do have requests in for the exhibits and all of that were submitted last week. I requested so many documents that they were able to send me some and they got to mail out the rest. But as far as the exhibits from the 20th, those will be sent to me most likely tomorrow or the next day electronically. So as I stated, we're going all the way back. All the way back. What did we miss? Did we miss anything? I was basing my previous commentary actually on things that I was able to research or shatter again that was said online. And we're just going to make sure we're doing it by the book. I don't think that a plea will be reached by tomorrow. I don't think that they are ready for trial. So, as I mentioned, we absolutely going to have time to break this case all the way down. Hey, Veronica Monroe. So if you guys are ready, I am. Let me just double check one other thing here. Let's see. I just want to make sure that I blacked out a lot. And I did. So yeah, hit that like button. Shout out to any new subscribers. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me bring this up. Shout out to my mods in the building. I see Linda Gamble. I see Teresa Wright. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. And let me remove this thumbnail before I even get started. At the start of what I'm doing as far as combing through the files and as well at the end, I want to make sure that you guys know why I'm here. I hope ain't nobody in this chat that's screaming justice for Holly. Veronica Monroe, I said hi to you, didn't I? But anyway, it is justice for Romika until we are able to say Romika has received justice. So this was the first picture that I've seen back in September of Romika. And I went back and I saw where I had saved the People magazine article. This case has gone viral. It's a national case. And yeah, we want justice for Romika. Before I start, I do want to say prayers going up to her beautiful, handsome son, her mom, and her family. And like I said, I know everybody here for what I am here for, and that is justice. So let's go ahead, go through some documents. You guys make sure to put your thoughts in the chat. I will be going through the comments once we're done. As I stated in my intro, this is allowed under that Copyright Act of 1976, and fair use is permitted. Everything is alleged. Mods, any comments that I need to see? Well, Teresa, you have my number. If it's of importance, anything that shouldn't be here, go ahead and zap them. Okay. And yes, prayers going up to baby Amir. I don't call him Lil Los. I'm sorry. Baby Amir and Romika's family. Okay. So let's get started. I told you guys I'm taking it back, and I am taking it all the way back. So we're going to go through the arrest report. Okay. Again, we want to make sure we haven't missed anything. So we got all of Holly's info, fat to 130 pounds and all of that. But her arrest location was right in Des Plaines, Illinois, and it was on the sidewalk. They had her under surveillance based off of some things that I was able to research and find out. And it was because on September the 8th, when, we saw the video, I will not be sharing that video again, but the crime scene, and Holly had her phone. And anyway, they said that the night of her arrest, she had saved pictures of Romika and showed them to the cops. And obviously, some of the detectives and all of that felt that was a little strange. And yeah, she was under surveillance from September the 8th. So anyway, they locked her up, That was December the 3rd. And let's go ahead and go through. No narcotics were recovered. No warrant was identified. All right. And we do know that Romika was transported to Stroger Hospital in Chicago. Her injuries were the pow pow shots. The pow pow shot. We should know that. Well, you guys should know that. Once in the face and twice more in the body. Okay, so this is where I'm really going to get started. And as I mentioned, we will, and let me get my little, well, do I want to get it ready? I'll just click it if I need it. But we're going to go through the facts. The facts. Again, all of this is public information, and we are able to talk about it and have a meaningful discussion. Please keep it cute in the comments for me if you don't mind. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna take that off so you guys can see if you want to. But they had one in custody. This was as of December 3rd. The address again of that arrest was Des Plaines, Illinois, and she was charged with first-degree murder. The court, they didn't have it at that time, but they said this is an Area 3 homicide investigation support team arrest. AOs had a conversation with, I was trying to do this, a detective regarding an ongoing homicide, positively ID'd the person who shot Blackman, resulting in Romika's death. Armed with a photograph of Johnson, obtained via that Chicago Police Department data warehouse, and the AO set up surveillance on her residence. Subsequently, she was located and taken into custody without incident, and she was transported to Area 3, which cleared the lead for this arrest. All right. Area 3, 26 in California, December 4th, Cook County Jail. Let's see. Nothing important there. So we're going to keep it going. So on December 3rd, this is when they brought her in. She was able to place she was placed in a one-person cell. And, you know, when you that tough, child, put me in there with everybody else. Put me in there with everybody else. But we know she's been trying to, and I believe she still is, in protective custody. I will double check that. But she had no signs of injury at all. She didn't. But we know that Romika did. At that time when she was arrested, she did let them know that she was pregnant. There's been some, I don't want to say misinformation, but it just didn't line up, because at the time of her arrest, I believe they tried to say, well, they said she was 7 weeks pregnant. Then allegedly, her attorney went back and said she was 12 weeks pregnant. I don't even know if she's still pregnant, but that's what she told them on the 4th of December. All right. She states she is pregnant, but doesn't know how far along she is. So those are exact remarks from Holly. And yeah, they said we keeping her. Okay. So they did not log an interview. Let's continue. They had all of the arresting officers. So 2, 4, 5. 5 officers were there when they arrested her. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and get into some more things. All right. So all of us should know that the location where this happened was 20 West Cermak Road. And without lawful justification and with intent to unalive or do great bodily harm to Romika or another person, Pal Romika. I don't know. I think that's protocol where they have to put that in there. But this is why she was charged with first-degree murder. All right. And I hate that I have to do this because I'm going to have to keep doing it. But we're going to just take a quick glance at the criminal disposition sheet. And while I'm going through this, do you guys think, allegedly, Cheryl Canada, unless she was there and saw it done, sis, please just put alleged, okay? Allegedly. I know that's what's out on the streets. Do you guys think that this is what she should have been charged with? Put a 1 in the chat. I'll drop man first is yes, absolutely. First degree murder is correct. Put a 2 if you think that it should have been something else. Let's see here. This is when they had that DNA order. So a lot of people were confused about that DNA order. They was like, oh my goodness, it's because they don't think that she pregnant by Carlos and all of that. You know, that DNA is for the pow that was used. They want to make sure that her DNA is on the weapon. They want to make sure, which I'm sure it was, with 3 pals to Romika. Romika's DNA was on there and all of that. So that's why there was a DNA order put into place. All right, let's continue. We're going to get down to some good stuff in a minute. But as I told you guys, I got to keep flipping these documents the way they sent them to me. But let's go ahead and read. So the defendant was indicted for the offense of first-degree murder, and the case number is there. They say the Cook County Department of Corrections, they got our inmate number, shall submit to a mandated DNA specimen being obtained from them by the Illinois State Police. Cheryl Canada, please don't drop any content creators' names in the chat, child. Sure, you've been here long enough, but I get it. I seen it. Still just say alleged for me, okay? And nothing against, I love channel. Nothing against the content creator, but you know how it is. Anyway, the Cook County Department of Corrections shall make the defendant available to personnel from the Illinois State Police only for the purpose of obtaining the requisite buccal swabs and fingerprints in the Illinois State Police DNA indexing database. So that's something that will absolutely play a big part in this case. They said right after that, take our earth right on back to Cook County Jail. They did that. All right. This was the order that was put in on the 7th of January that, yeah, you got to remain in custody. I don't know if anybody holding out hope that this girl gonna get out. It's not happening at all. Pregnant or not, it's not happening. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up here. And as I mentioned, we are combing through the files. I want you guys to know, yeah, I'm absolutely going to give my opinion like I've been doing. However, we taking it back and we going by the book. So this was the 22nd, and Holly was in court back on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I got it open somewhere. Anyway, not really important, but now comes the defendant, Holly Johnson, by and through her attorney, Williams, and respectfully request this honorable court to review its decision entered July 9th, 2024. All right. July 9th, 2024. Now, when I first saw this, when I was going through these documents, I was a little confused because Romika was unalived on September the 8th, 2025. It is my opinion only, and this is alleged that her attorney has used templates, if you will, of previous cases and all of that. And I think that that could be some of the reasons for these dates being mixed up. But what happened on that is a Pretrial Fairness Act. that was entered July 9th, 2024. So it is very common in cases like this for them to go back and reference other laws. And that's what she was doing when it comes to that date. But on or about September 8th, 2025, the defendant was arrested for the offense of first degree unaliving, among other charges. We know that she was released initially. And then, and that's why I don't understand why they have this like this, because she was released after September the 8th and she was picked back up in December. And that's when she appeared for her initial detention hearing. If you were just reading this at first glance, one would think that she was in jail from September the 8th to her first initial detention hearing, and she wasn't. But following the hearing, she was held in detention. The state has abolished the requirement that a defendant post monetary bail. No bail. No bail. Period. And that law was originally set to go into effect January 1st, 2023. So again, they are referencing, and sorry guys, these braces, previous laws that were put into effect, and the Supreme Court granted that. So again, no bail. As of September 18th, 2023, a defendant, okay, so this is just the laws. A defendant may only be denied pretrial release upon the filing of a verified petition by the state and after the court holds a hearing and makes required written findings. No need to really read all of that. They put it in here trying to get out. It did not work. So the argument was there has been a change in circumstance sufficient to warrant a redetermination in her detention status. In recent cases, blah, 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 they go back and reference. But they said that since Holly's last detention hearing, her counsel has since had the opportunity to speak with her family, review discovery, and understand more about the case than was previously proffered, as well as her background. Tara Mimi, denied, period, point blank. Hey, Noonie. Noonie Cat is here. Okay. Denied. And yeah, the attorney took that time back in December to review everything. This new information constitute a change in circumstance sufficient to warrant a redetermination of her detention status. The attorney was earning her money, child. Let me go ahead and reference this law and that law and see if it's gonna work. And her attorney said the state is unable to meet its burden of proving by clear and convincing evidence that the proof is evident and presumption is great. The state absolutely met that burden of proof. That's why she's still in there with no bond. All right, regarding the charge, the state has the burden of proving that Ms. Johnson had intent to unalive Romika. The state cannot prove, this is what her attorney said. The state cannot prove this by clear and convincing evidence. And you know, this is what I don't understand. I understand that attorneys have to, and let me do something real quick so I can make sure I know where I left off. I understand that attorneys have to do their job and all of that, but if I know I'm selling you some bull-ish, it would be hard for me. Let me just put it that way. It would be really hard because that's some bull. How do you pow someone in the face and twice in the body without the intent? Yeah, she intended to unalive her. But anyway, they go on to say, in establishing self-defense, that's going to play a big part in this trial. The defendant must show some evidence that unlawful force was threatened against them. The danger of harm was imminent. The defendant was not the aggressor, that she actually believed a danger existed and force was necessary to avert danger. I'm going to go ahead and insert myself again. Yes, the attorney doing what they do, false hope. Yes, ma'am. Defense attorneys majority. No, she does not have a appointed attorney. But based off of chatter, and again, everything is alleged, but we have and have heard from alleged witnesses that were on the scene. We know allegedly, and it is in court docs, that if we don't get to it today, we're definitely going to get to it, that Romika was being held in that chokehold. She wasn't the aggressor because she was being held. So that means Holly was not in danger. Before I continue, I have said from day one, and will say till they find her guilty and she locked up for life. When she walked back to her car to retrieve that pow, again, she was no longer in danger. So I get it. The attorney got to do what they got to do. But no, she was not in danger, period. Let's see. So they again reference other laws, People versus Hawkins, and the law does not require the aggressor to be armed for self-defense to be justified. It must appear that the aggressor is capable of inflicting serious bodily harm without the use of a deadly weapon. So that People versus Hawkins law, that's what that entails. That's not what Holly, that's not, in my opinion, what applies to Holly. Anyway, what the state has filed, what the state has failed to capture and sensationalize throughout the reporting of this case is the reality and the truth. The victim had consistently and through various means threatened the use of unlawful force against Miss Johnson. I'm going to put a little marking right there and then continue. What they are talking about is because the first time that Holly ever laid eyes on Romika was the day that she unalived her. So they're talking about alleged exchange between Romika and Holly because of that pillow talking Negro, Los. And threatened and what she did that day is two different things, in my opinion. Okay? So Romika was not armed. Holly wasn't armed. She wouldn't retrieved it. So all of that, again, a lawyer, do your job, but I'm gonna go back, but let me read this. Let me read this comment. Los got that girl life in prison. Los need to be in jail. This is very serious when a man lies to people about someone's character and personality, where the other person take action to unalive Mika. Lisa Lewis. Oh, I shouldn't have said. Hopefully that's not your government. If so, change it, child. Get you a nice, cute little nickname. But I totally agree with you. I just mentioned pillow talking, and the pillow talking is what gave Holly, in my opinion, the balls to do what she did. The pillow talking is what had those ladies going back and forth with each other. And I asked you guys this before. I don't know if you've been there. I have. A lot of us can call ourselves today dummy asses. But yeah, the majority of women most likely have had telephone exchange or text or DMs or whatever with a chick because of a Negro. That does not give any of us the right to do what Holly did. And that was unalive Ramika. Miss Johnson, her closest friends, her family, all have been subjected to keyword the victim who is no longer here, incessant and concerning harassment, whether that be via unsolicited calls or text messages. Ms. Johnson was continuously being threatened by the victim on her cell phone to the extent that Ms. Johnson had to block the victim's number. Now, My thoughts again on that is Romika had to do the same. I didn't save it. But I'm sure all of you guys have seen it. Romika said, I got this chick blocked on every platform: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and she still found a way to contact me. So don't just act like Holly had to block her. Romika blocked as well. Anyway, they tried to say that these threats were relentless, even having gone so far as to find Miss Johnson's grandmother's phone number, calling her grandmother and making it clear that her intent was to unalive Miss Johnson. Now, this is something that I have not heard, and I doubt, my opinion only. My opinion only. And let me change this banner too. If that was the pattern of Romika, where Holly had the block and oh my gosh, she's stalking me and this and that, and now she's calling grandmama, clearly the attorney would have audio. Clearly the family thought that, you know what, let's make sure we are recording her when she's making these calls. I haven't heard that. And I doubt if we hear anything like that if they make it to trial. So for me, my opinion only, that's hearsay. That's hearsay. Grandmama, mom, and everybody else probably saying things happen to try to get granddaughter out of the clinker. So I would like proof of that, and we shall see if they have that once this goes to trial. I'm not. I was about to say something, but I don't want to give her no advice. I really don't. But girl, you a damn fool. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you take this to trial, that's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't that serious. I know she is regretting that every night she wakes up. I totally agree with you. Because I can guarantee you, she ain't going to say it out loud. She ain't going to say it in court. But I know she's saying I shouldn't have done that. I should have gotten my car and left. I can bet money on it. Anyway, the unlawful use of force threatened against Miss Johnson by the victim were grave and real. Miss Johnson was genuinely concerned for her safety, given that she was pregnant at the time she was receiving these threats, that the victim was going to end her. And ultimately, child, they laying it on thick. Her child's life. They laying it on thick. But guess what? Romika had, may she rest in peace, has still a child as well. And for those of us that remember the I would never videos, for those of us that remember, duh, we are family, duh, we gonna be dressed alike. Those of us that have seen all of, not all, but the majority of what was saved, what Romika saved and took screenshots of when it comes to Carlos and Holly, she had a child too. So, what does that mean? Unfortunately, in my opinion, for Holly, she left that child in the car on the day that she unalived Romika, her child that she was so concerned with or concerned about. Went and got that pow out the car, left the baby in the car, went and did what she did. So come on now, who is really concerned or worried about that kid? Because if I'm worried about my kids, baby, I am putting the pedal to the metal. And if I'm scared and I had the opportunity to go to my car, again, I'm putting the pedal to the metal and I'm backing up as quick as I can. I don't care if I got to hit cars to get up out of there before I pull out a pow and go and do what she did. Just me. Anyway, they spoke about her getting that order of protection against the victim. And let's make sure that we continue to say who the true Romika is the victim. But Holly had to go and get that order of protection. This order of protection allegedly was granted in July 2025, a few months prior to the incident. This, I believe, was proven to be incorrect. And as we go through these documents, we will fact check some of this stuff. But the victim was served with this order of protection and was aware that this order of protection was placed against her. I'm just going to say, in my opinion, and based off of what I feel like, I didn't mean to do that, was in other, sorry guys, that's the eraser. That was in later documents that we will, like I say, go through. I believe that, yeah, Romika was never served. Now, that's just my opinion, and it is alleged. There was some misinformation about that. I remember Tia Ewing reporting on that as well. But they said that there was a copy of the transcript from June 18th hearing regarding the order of protection. And that was tendered to the court on December 4th when Holly, was arrested. The transcript illustrated the victim's inherent aggression and hostility, not only towards Miss Johnson, but towards the court as well. The court frequently asked the victim to stop and that she was not doing anything to help her case of why Miss Johnson needs an order against her. Hence, Miss Johnson was indeed shown and made clear that unlawful force was threatened against her. Reading from the documents. Further, the danger of harm was imminent, where Miss Johnson reasonably believed that a danger by the victim existed and that the use of force was necessary to avert danger that the victim presented on the morning of September 8, 2025. All right, I'm going to stop right there for a quick minute. Why? I'm going to stop right there because, again, I'm only giving you guys my opinion only. And I have always said, especially since Los got a whole rap video out here talking about concealed licenses and get you a concealed, and all of that. It is my opinion only that even when it comes to seeking these orders of protections, that all of that was done, in my opinion only, so that if she ever saw Romika, she can do what she did. Because the exchange from the both of them, and I'll say it again, I am for Romika and Romika only. But the exchange that the both of them have with each other, Romika could have sought her own protection order. Both of them should have been protected from Carlos. That's another video at another time. But anyway, after having spent the weekend at the residence of her 6-month-old child's father's Los address, both Miss Johnson and Smith drove in his black Mercedes to where Miss Johnson parked her vehicle at 20 West Cermak. That was approximately, well, they'll get into the time, 8:51 a.m. Anyway, Smith's Mercedes was double parked 2-car lengths in front of Miss Johnson. Now, I'm going to say this again to you guys. Well, I didn't say this, but I'm going to say it now. That's odd to me, and it should be odd to you guys, because if Los was driving Holly to her car, why was he double parked 2-car lengths in front of her vehicle? Does that make sense? If I'm driving somebody to their car, I'm going to stop right there by their car, especially knowing that she got the baby, she got diaper bags, she got this, she got that. Why would he park 2 car lengths in front of her car? Things that make you say, it's just me. Anyway, they go on to say, in moving her child from the rear seat of his SUV, Miss Johnson then placed her child in the back seat of her black Chevy. At approximately 8:51 a.m., a white Kia sedan that was driving eastbound on Cermak is captured on camera making a U-turn facing westbound on Cermak. So that is when Romika synced, and I'm saying that purposely, synced him and made a U-turn. The victim owned that white Kia and used it to drop her son off at school. Oh shoot, it'll make me tear up anyway, but I'll add it to this picture. But when People Magazine did their write-up, and we all have seen that last note that Romika wrote for her baby the day that she was unalive. And yeah, that just made me thought of that note. Anyway, she used that Kia to drop off her son at school 55 West Cermak. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that, but I am from the Chi, and I just always wondered, why would they park there and not closer to Carlos's house? Why? Things that make you say Anyway, they said that Romika blocked Holly's car by double parking her white Kia on Cermak. Miss Johnson and Smith did not invite the victim over. Public street. She didn't need an invitation. The victim took it upon herself to approach Miss Johnson and Smith in an unsolicited manner, yelling at them, saying, and again, for me, this is all alleged, even though it's in these court documents, I told y'all I was going to catch you. That's what they saying Romika said. Carlos then, hold on. I told y'all I was going to catch you. So in Exhibit 3, Carlos said that to the popos on the scene. Anyway, an argument ensued between Miss Johnson and the victim. Los, I'm trying to be careful because they tripping about names, noted that Miss Johnson pleaded with the victim to please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Hearsay, allegedly. I don't see, my opinions only, Holly saying, please leave me alone. You got your man there and you got a pow in the car. You've been waiting on the opportunity to see Romika face to face. Unfortunately, Romika probably was waiting for the opportunity to see her for a yelling match. Because of who? You guys know who. Anyway, I don't believe that. My opinion only. I don't believe that. Please leave me alone. The state argues, but we also know that day that she unalived the victim was the first date that she had ever met her in person. And ultimately, if the victim was coming for violence, then maybe any witness out there would have seen the victim put them paws on Holly, either defendant or witness number one, and that never happened. Come through, state. Come through, state, with the facts. So the plea, shit. Sorry, guys. God dog it. Hold on. So the please leave me alone and all of that. Girl, bye. And Carlos, bye. And again, the state came through absolutely with the facts. No one has reported that Romika was able to put hands on Holly. What they did report again was allegedly Romika was placed in that chokehold by Carlos. And I've always said this, and I'll say it again until they lock her up and throw away the key. Holly should have been the one that was in the chokehold because Holly and Carlos knew that Holly had that pow pow in her car. Carlos, big body building, swole Carlos, should have led Holly to her car. Go ahead, you got the baby in there, just leave. Just leave. So, yeah, no, I don't believe that. Leave me alone. No, at all. Anyway, so the state said either the defendant or witness number one, and that never happened. Romika never laid hands on Holly. Notably, yes, September 8th was the first in-person encounter between Ms. Johnson and the victim. However, irrespective of it being the first in-person meeting between Johnson and the victim, that encounter absolutely was enough to cause Ms. Johnson to be fearful. So those are her attorney's words against the victim. Again, at the time, Ms. Johnson had an order of protection against the victim. The victim had previously threatened her, blah, 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 had sent numerous threatening and harassing messages, and those messages came both ways. That's not in the court docs. That's what I'm saying. Allegedly, from what I've seen from their social media pages, Romika's and Holly's. Both of them. Now, conveniently, once we get up to date as far as March of 2026, conveniently, when Carlos provided his evidence to the court, but he loved Romika and he's still posting about on Facebook and all of that, it was so one-sided. Like Romika was talking to herself. Messages, in my opinion, had disappeared. It didn't even make sense, because she'd say, yeah, okay, Los, but there was nothing there that, what was she saying? Yeah, okay, Los too. So he, in my opinion, erased messages and then provided that to her attorney. Anyway, let's see. The victim on the date of the incident was now advancing towards Miss Johnson upon seeing her on Cermak with the man they shared children in common. This was absolutely enough to devastate the victim and make her distraught. She that girl. That's what they want us to believe. Holly is that girl, so much so Romika was devastated at the sight of her, distraught over the fact that there's another woman in the picture. I can't wait for the state to and child, we'll see if they are in those exhibits. To introduce Romika's evidence that she had moved on. Carlos was bothering her. Devastated for what? Distraught for what? Now, I'm just gonna keep it real. Have you seen her? Rest in peace to the beautiful Romika Meeks, but girl, stop trying to act like, in my opinion, Holly was just all that. Anyway, witness one, which is Los, stated to police 2 hours after the incident that the victim ran up on Miss Johnson and swung at her face, and all of this, according to the other witnesses, are lying. Carlos said that Romika ran up and swung at Holly's face. And what did you do, dude? No one else has reported that she made physical contact with Holly. But according to Carlos, she did. And because of that, the danger of harm and absolute great and imminent, Miss Johnson did not know what the victim was capable of or if the victim would follow through on her threats to unalive her. With her 6-month-old child in the back seat of her vehicle, Miss Johnson was reasonably proactive. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They trying to say she was just being proactive and let me go to my car and get this pow pow. No, no, that's some straight BS. But I'll read that part again. With her 6-month-old child in the back seat of her vehicle, Miss Johnson was reasonably proactive and defended herself and her child. Again, given a history between herself and the victim, along with the victim making physical contact with Miss Johnson reasonably believed that the use of force was necessary to avert the danger and the victim and I'm sorry, was necessary to avert the danger that the victim was posing to her and her child. Yeah, those messages will be retrieved for sure. And that'll fall in line with character. Why did you delete them, Mr. Los? You know, that's what the state gonna ask. But let me say this before I move on. Again, if she believed that baby was safe and strapped in the car, if I have to run and keep on running, that's what I'm going to do. Holly could have done a number of things that day. And like we said earlier, we can guarantee that she probably thinking that she should have. I really, really wish that I would have done that. But she didn't have to stop at her car. I'm scared. Help, run, keep running. Cermak is such a busy street. That's why people on the CTA, people that were walking, people that were on the scene saw exactly what happened. And again, none of the witnesses other than Carlos said that Romika struck Holly. It's the lies for me. Rainey said, I don't believe that either. Holly was too cocky with all of her I would never videos to be begging somebody to leave her alone. Facts. Plus, her man then told her, in my opinion, go ahead and get licensed to carry. Got a whole rap video about it. So, yeah, no. She wasn't scared, in my opinion, at all. Anyway, let's continue. But her lawyer said the state has also failed to prove that Miss Johnson committed the offense when improperly relying on. Child, how long has this been off? Uncorroborated witness statements that is not supported by video evidence when arguing that it has been proven by clear and convincing evidence that the proof is evident and presumption great. The state is only required to present reliable evidence to sustain its burden. And they went on to reference People versus Phelps in 2025. The state is unsuccessful in bringing forth reliable evidence suggesting Ms. Johnson committed the offense of first degree unaliving. Essentially, there is no video evidence at all capturing the unaliving, either from the pod camera at the intersection of State and Cermak or from bus footage. Now, I know that has been going around as well, that cameras picked up what happened. And I just don't get that if it did not. I don't get it. Chicago is one of, the unaliving rate has gone down, but they still buck wild. And most times there are cameras on every corner. I just don't understand how it did not pick that up. CTA bus was there on the scene. A witness was on that bus. CTA bus didn't pick it up. We don't know if other restaurants or anything like that. I'm sure that the detectives, I don't know. I can't even say I'm sure that they did. Because if one of the witnesses that we saw video of and heard, if they didn't say, she shot her, Her right there. She shot her. Baby, I don't know what them officers was doing on the scene, the initial one. But hopefully, and it will absolutely come out. Could have come out. I'll just keep it real with you guys. I don't look at too many other content creators because I want to make sure that when I'm giving my commentary is like my commentary. I do peep in here and there. I'll admit that. So I don't know if it's come out in later documents, but I got them all and we'll find out. That other restaurants, I've heard that there was a Shark's chicken spot nearby and several other places that could have. And if they did their due diligence, then they got that video. Witness 2, 3, and 4 are all independent of each other. None of these witnesses observed the events on September 8th in its completion, and their statements are entirely inconsistent. Again, this is Holly's lawyers that we're reading now. For example, witness number 2. Now, I did not do a good job. Witness number 2 stated in his video that he drove eastbound on Cermak during the time of the incident to pick up a DoorDash delivery from a coffee shop. I hope that coffee shop got it. Located on 21st and State. He said while driving by, he stated to detectives that he saw both Miss Johnson and the victim on the opposite side from his lane of traveling, arguing with Smith in between them. This witness did not see Miss Johnson or the victim, Romika, displaying any pow-pows. Further, this witness was not present for the actual shooting. Wood stated to detectives that he was inside his driving car eastbound on Cermak, turned left on State Street, parked his car in front of the coffee shop, and was inside that coffee shop for 5 to 10 minutes. Now, I'm just going to say, I wouldn't care if he did not see that part. He told the part that he did see. And what he did see was Holly and Romika arguing with Carlos in between them. And I can bet money Carlos just felt like he was the man. You know what I'm saying? Look at these two women fighting over me. Anyway, let's continue. This witness further was only able to identify Miss Johnson because she was the one placed in handcuffs, not because he saw her with a pow-pow in her hand, unaliving or pow-powing the victim. Give me 1 second. Most importantly, witness number 3, the state's star witness who sees most of it, but ultimately what witness number 3 hears and sees is threats being issued toward the victim by the defendant. I'm going to read that again. What witness number 3 saw with their eyes and heard with their ears is that the defendant was threatening Romika. Okay. She also heard witness number 1, Los, telling the victim that Holly had a pow-pow, heard the defendant making threats to unalive the victim. That's the star witness. Sound like a star to me. Heard everything, saw everything. And instead of Carlos telling Romika Holly had a pow-pow, how did she get it? Okay. The statements made by witness number 3 are wholly uncorroborated by the evidence where that witness was seen walking in the opposite direction of the scene, crossing a busy street 350 feet away from the scene, had her view obstructed and hindered when she was hiding behind a wall under the bridge of the Green Line, and was seen wearing headphones that would make it difficult to capture an argument from 350 feet away. So what I would have said when it comes to Holly's attorneys, but wait a minute now, you just said that there were no video. But now you're talking about the video that's a little bit down the street. And yeah, I would have too, because this cray chick is letting pow-pows. Bullets are flying. Yeah, I'm gonna have too. And just because you have headphones in, I don't know about you guys, but if I have my pods in, that don't mean that they're on. A lot of people have their earbuds in their ear, but they could pause the music, they could do whatever. So I get that that's what her attorney is trying to argue, but yeah, no, for me. This evidence, removing her headphones and sliding them around her neck when officers attempt to talk to her about the incident once the officers arrived on the scene. As for the inconsistencies in statements and observations, that was at approximately 8:51 a.m. on September the 8th when that white Kia sedan was seen making a U-turn. All right. They're saying that this star witness was on the 21 bus headed towards the green line. And the witness claimed to detectives that while she was seated on the bus that was nearing the intersection of State and Cermak, she looked to the left of her. Outside the bus window, saw two females and a male arguing. The male was seen. People keep saying, where y'all get this from? Where y'all get this from? The male was seen slamming the door on the female with red hair, which was Romika. The victim told the detectives that allegedly upon seeing the incident, he, Los, slamming the victim with the car door, she exclaimed, "Oh my God," as she was talking to her boyfriend. Such events of her exclamations are not captured on video footage from the 21 bus she was traveling on. I can totally see somebody saying, "Oh my God, look at this man slamming his woman with the car door." Do I think that Carlos did that? Absolutely. And the reason why is because, again, in my opinion, he knew what he had spoke to Holly about. And go slam what he should have done. Slam Holly ass. Should have tackled her down to the ground. You should have done something instead of letting her go back to that car and retrieve that pow-pow. All right, guys, let me read a couple comments. We're going to continue on. We'll finish this document, and then when I come to you guys again, we'll go through another one. That was allegedly premeditated conspiracy to unalive Romika, period. Only weak individuals do what Carlos did to Romika. No empathy, narcissist whatsoever. I must say, I agree. Teresa, thank you so much, sis. Thank you so much for the super chat. Somebody told her wrong that she would get away with what she has done, dummy arse. Agreed. Rini said, okay, I read that. Linda said, allegedly, the deleted messages is still in the cloud, and the popo still can retrieve the messages. They can. They absolutely can and will. Okay. Carlos was lying to both women at the same time. Yes, ma'am. And that's how we are. That's why we here. So yeah, it is being reported and it's just out on the streets for now. But we want to go ahead and speak that into existence, that they are paying close attention to Mr. Los. And yeah, lock his ass up too. Exactly, Rainey. Exactly. When I saw the popos that were initially there, I said, what are they doing? Carlos was walking all through. It's so gruesome to say, but blood. Tracking all through it. Then he walked over and pushed the witness that was sitting there. Pushed her. Then he walked back over to where Romika was. Holly sitting there with her cell phone. I mean, it was crazy to me. It was crazy. Anyway, at 9 a.m., 9 minutes after the kid is seen and making a U-turn, the video footage from the bus captures the witness seated on the left-hand side of the bus with a baby stroller in front of her. She is seen wearing headphones covering her ears. The witness is seen briefly looking out the left-hand side window at the scene for 9 seconds. That's a long time. And I'm about to count 9 seconds because if I'm sitting on a bus by the window and I look over for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds, I can absolutely tell what's going on. I can absolutely see what's going on in 9 seconds. Him allegedly slamming that door on Romika. Yeah. So her lawyers put that in there, and I don't know why. 9 seconds is not a split second. But anyway, the witness turns her head forward, facing the front of the bus after the 9 seconds. She had no reaction on her face as to the body slamming. She just witnessed Smith do to the victim with the victim's car door. On that note, the video footage from the bus does not capture Los hitting the victim with the door. Additionally, the witness is not exclaiming anything, making statements of any kind. She is not holding a phone, nor is she seen talking to anyone near or around her. Her mouth is not moving whatsoever. Instead, the witness is unaffected by the event. My question is this. Hey, KG. My question is this. If I know that I did not see anything, if I know I didn't hear anything, I'm not voluntarily going up to no police officer and saying I saw something. So again, her attorney is doing what attorneys do, but that just does not make sense. If she wasn't interested and looked over and glanced over and, oh, well, let me look back, why would she get off the bus and go back and talk to the popo? Why? Anyway, there are 9 minutes of the event that the witness did not see. She did not observe how the event began, nor any of the threatening behavior by the victim toward Holly. Even then, the bus never made a complete stop at the intersection of State and Cermak. The bus continued moving eastbound on Cermak, driving through the light. Once the bus drives past the intersection and approaches its stop, the witness gets off of the bus with her stroller and continues to head eastbound on Cermak. The witness is traveling in the opposite direction of the scene and proceeds to do so, missing much more of the events between Miss Johnson and the victim. That don't make sense to me. And as we read, I'm going to see if it's going to make sense. She didn't even walk in the direction. They're trying to say that she walked in the opposite direction. Anyway, the witness further alleges she was able to hear Miss Johnson and the victim yelling at each other while she was on the bus. And you absolutely, on a summer day, can hear because, yeah, buses have windows. Windows are open. So I'm sure she was able to hear. Anyway, this is refuted completely where the victim is wearing large. How many times they gonna say that? The headphones over her head. The victim's headphones hinder her from hearing any outside noise. This is evidenced by the victim removing her headphones and sliding them around her neck when officers attempt to talk to her about the incident. Come on and answer my question, because if she got off that bus and walked in a different direction, what would make the officers talk to her? Okay. Even once the witness was off of the bus, turning around and crossing Cermak to get to the sidewalk near the other lane of traffic, the witness was approximately 350 to 400 feet away from the scene. And I'm gonna have to be real careful with some of the exhibits when I get to that point. But let's see. In that exhibit, what they did show was the distance between the scene and the green line. Not only would she be too far or too distant to hear the exact words coming out of Holly's mouth or Romika's mouth, the witness was also too far to clearly see what was going on. Anybody believe that? Teresa said there was no reason for a person to get off the bus and make up that lie. She saw him allegedly hit her with that door. I totally agree. Why would I insert myself in this? She does not know Romika personally, did not know Romika personally, does not know Holly or Carlos. Why would I want to be involved in this as a witness? Come on now. Anyway, lawyers doing their job. In the same sense, the witness view was also obstructed numerous times by a wall while she was making her second 911 call. Why would she make a second 911 call, attorney? I would want to know that. She didn't call 911 once. She called them twice. Why? If she didn't see anything, if she didn't hear anything. Come on now. The witness is seen emerging from behind a building while she was under the Green Line Bridge that is outside the view of the scene at 20 West Surmark. Why I keep saying Surmark? Surmac. Further, the state fails to take into account the lack of credibility from the witness stories to which they are relying on. The state also alleges that the witness observed witness one, Los, and the defendant fist bump her. I believed it. Believed it from the beginning. Not only is this fist bump not captured on the pod, but the witness never mentions or exclaims such a thing while on the scene. The witness, and that was while she was talking to officers. All right, let's continue. Additionally, witness number 4. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me do something. All right. Additionally, so the star witness is witness number 3. As I stated, sounds like a star to me. And I don't see anybody making this up, calling 911, hanging up, and calling them back. Why? She was calling. This chick just unalived this chick. That's why she was calling. Get the police here ASAP. Witness number 4 statement to the detectives on the case is completely unreliable and not credible. This witness is a crossing guard for the National Teachers Academy. No, they're not trying to discredit a crossing guard, child, which is located just across the street from the incident. We know it was just across the street from Romika's son's school, and yes, school have crossing guards. I absolutely believe that the crossing guard that was on duty saw what went on. According to Holly's lawyers, is unreliable what they said. Anyway, the crossing guard did not observe Miss Johnson pow the victim. The crossing guard is simply assuming such is the case. When asked by detectives why he believes the victim was pow by Holly, the crossing guard said just because of the fact that she explained, from what I heard, she explained that she had conceal and carry. I'm going to say, as we heard where the other witnesses picked up on that live when they went live and was recording on the scene, we heard Holly say that. So yeah, I think that's the reason why she powed her too. The crossing guard feel the same way just because she said that. I got a license and I'm concealed and carry. To conceal and carry. So the crossing guard said, so I just figured that her saying that is basically letting me put two and two together, that she actually was the one that pulled the trigger. Crossing guard said the statements are based on, but the attorneys, I'm sorry, said that the crossing guard statements are based on hearsay and inferences that cannot be taken for truth. Yes, they can, in my opinion. Anyway, they went on to say, Holly has not been convicted of any of these offenses alleged in this case. She has a presumption of innocence. No evidence has been presented in this case that would rebut her presumption of innocence to meet the state's burden here. All the evidence presented to potentially incriminate Ms. Johnson is circumstantial and cannot meet the state's burden. All right, we got a couple more pages. You don't like our attorney. She's not good for me. For a serious case like that, I wouldn't have her. This is just me and my opinion. I like her for that reason, Teresa. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how everyone is lying but the baby daddy, right? Where the state fails to meet its burden of proving by clear and convincing evidence that the proof is evident and presumption is great, Ms. Johnson, in fact, committed the offenses she is being charged with. This court should release Ms. Johnson. We know that didn't happen. So they kept saying the state cannot meet its burden of proof, but the judge believed that they did. All right. A lot of this is just repeating a lot of that. But they went on to talk about her background. They said that while the charge being brought upon Ms. Johnson is of a violent nature, no evidence has been presented that Ms. Johnson did, in fact, commit these acts, let alone that she poses a real and present threat to the safety of the community. I'm scared, and I'm not even in Illinois. Yeah, she is a threat to the community. They went on to talk about she had no violent background. She had a misdemeanor retail theft. She received supervision from that. That happened in 2014. Let's see. She also had a prior misdemeanor conviction in 2015 for speeding, and there were no pending cases at that time. There was another pending case. And again, do I have that? I do. That was Holly versus Raphael Taylor, somebody that she said had scammed her out of some money. So there were pending cases, and I feel like that wasn't truthful. I know it's not saying that there were any violent cases, but yeah, what else she in court for? Anyway, where the let's see. They said the state erroneously argues that Ms. Johnson is a risk and was emboldened by carrying her firearm. Anybody know what emboldened means? I want to give the proper definition, but that's like, you got balls. She absolutely was emboldened by carrying that firearm. But the official definition of emboldened, it give the courage of confidence to do something or to behave in a certain way. Yes, she was emboldened. Anyway, Miss Johnson was confronted aggressively. I'm not going through all of that. By the victim. Neither was this a twisted sense of self-defense. Miss Johnson and her 6-month-old child. So again, attorney doing what attorney's doing. Let me keep on bringing up this baby, and let me keep on saying that she was scared. Okay. Let's see here. Miss Johnson should not be punished for being legally permitted to carry, keyword, carry a firearm for her protection and using it accordingly. Now, although they were arguing, Romika and Holly, and I'm just going to say this for the sake of saying this, I still wouldn't have believed that it was self-defense. But what I do think would have made a difference, and I'm just talking about it this way because we're talking about this. If Holly would have had that pow on her person, then I think that her attorney would have a good case. Not that I think it was self-defense, but just for the argument of it. So again, they said legally permitted to carry. She wasn't carrying it at the time. But they said neither did Miss Johnson fire multiple times at her with a pause between the first shot and subsequent shots, as alleged by the state. Rather, it is alleged that there was 3 shots in the beginning and 2 shots afterwards, with 10 seconds in between each shot. 3 and 2 after. Again, this proves that the incident took place on September 8th was not done as a result of her character or for violence, but out of a need for protection and self-preservation. That's all mumbo jumbo words to me. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a coroner. But I would think, and we'll get into it, and warning in advance once we start getting into a lot of the exhibits down the line and all of that. I'm gonna try not to be as gruesome as it's gonna get, but I would think that first out of the 3 that her attorney is trying to say, pow to the face was enough. Period. Let's see. Miss Johnson is a mother and one and is also currently pregnant with her second child. We went through that. I'm not doing that again. She had a lash business. She is not someone who is at risk. She is known to be a loving mother and devoted daughter, has contributed tremendously, not only to her household, but to her family as well, to her community. She's donated food and supplies to shelters for women and children. Now, look, a lot of us, especially in the community crew, we've done that as well, but we got pictures to prove it. Do they have pictures, or is that just trying to, make her image look good? Show us some pictures, not the character letters, because that's why they have see Exhibit 11. I want to see some pictures of her volunteering at the homeless shelters and donating and all of that. Come on now. Anyway, they say she's an anchor within her family. She is grounded in her family, got values. She's driven by generosity, compassion, and willingness to serve others. Speaking of those character letters, it has been proven, but I'll say alleged just for the sake of the video. There was a template that was used where other folks' names was left on there where it should have said Holly. That's a mess. Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna read that. So anyway, and we're gonna get to something else, but this was all leading up to them basically begging for her to be released, saying that she was not a threat to the safety or any persons of the community, and the state will not be able to show by clear and convincing evidence that she poses a threat. The state really ain't got to present nothing because Holly presented her own evidence, in my opinion, and that was unaliving Romika. What else is needed? You don't get to just get on out and possibly do that again. No. Let's see. So yeah, that's when they said a court may only deny pretrial release. It's been denied. I ain't going through all of that. They said leading up to that point, she has appeared at every court date, meaning she gonna show up if she out. No, she don't have a choice. She don't have a choice to show up to every court date because she locked up. Oh, child. Okay. Let's see. More big, and I'm not going to read that. But her attorney did what attorneys aren't supposed to do. Go back and reference other cases. If you guys followed the Diddy case, in that case, his lawyers did the same thing. Remember, the judge took about a month break before he came back and let them know if he was going to let Diddy out or not. And the I wish I knew the name right now. It's not popping up in my head. But his attorneys did the same thing. They went and pulled cases where it was similar in nature, and they showed where this person had a bond immediately. And our client has been here over a year, Your Honor, or this person was released on bond. It didn't work in Diddy's case, and it's definitely not going to work for Holly. Okay. Okay, let's go. More begging, more begging, more begging. So again, her attorney is doing exactly what she's supposed to do. All right. We are getting to the end, but I do want to read this. They filed a motion to vacate that detention order and again release Holly. And the judge say, let's see. And some of the key things that they made sure to put is pregnant. She pregnant. She need prenatal care. She need doctors. And they got that right there at the county, child. She gonna be all right. Okay. Let's get on down to this part, because I definitely wanted to read this. And then we're gonna be out of here. Let's see. All right, I'll read this. Witness number 1 has a 6-month-old child in common with the defendant, as well as a 6-year-old child in common with the victim. In December 2024, the defendant sought a stalking no contact order against the victim, alleging that the victim made verbal threats to the defendant through the defendant's family. The defendant did not allege that the victim committed any acts of violence against her. I'm going to read that part again. Y'all keep, not you guys, but they keep screaming, no contact order, protection order, protection order. What she didn't say, though, is that Romika committed any acts of violence against her. They granted that order of protection July 2025, but was never served on the victim. So remember, I told you guys earlier that when they said that she was served, I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Never served. As of the date of this incident, the defendant and the victim had never met in person. So put that to bed. Romika was never served. I don't know if we got to go back through all of this because we did, but I do want to see something. This one. Okay. All right, we just went through all of that. So that's just a short version of, the car being double parked and all of that. But based off of video from the scene, and again, I have to say, allegedly, there was room for Holly to get out. Even because, and I'm definitely not going to bring it up again, but the day of that incident, the video that was circulating, and I'm sure you guys can still find it. It's not like Holly Pow Romika then moved her car. You know what I'm saying? Everything was at a standstill. Their positions of the vehicles and all of that was where they were when this started. And there was room to pull on out. So again, under threat, I'm scared. I'm getting in my car. I'm burning rubber away from there. Let's see. So, witness number 2, who does not know any of the parties, drove past. We talked about that. That's the man that went to the coffee shop. Witness 3, witness 4. After her 911 call, the victim entered her car. The V. Witness 3 and witness 4 then observed the D approach the victim's car. Wait a minute, what? Let me read this. Witness number 3 and 4, who also don't know any other parties involved, observed Carlos standing in between Romika and Holly. They observed the victim walk towards the driver's door of the Kia, her car, standing in the threshold of the driver's door, with witness one standing immediately outside of the driver's door. Do I need to say that again? The victim, Romika, walked toward the driver's door of her car. And who was there blocking her? Carlos. The defendant was standing on the sidewalk, arguing and probably screaming and yelling, "I would never," from the sidewalk, while the victim was at her car door. That's when they then stated witness one, Los, struck the victim by repeatedly swinging the driver's door of the Kia. Witness 3 called 911 and reported that witness 1 had struck the victim multiple times with the car door. So, and I'm going to read the rest of this. But that definitely contradicts what her lawyer tried to say earlier. The witness 3 wasn't even there, or couldn't see, or couldn't hear. And yet we don't believe that. After a 911 call, the victim entered her car. Witness 3 and 4 then observed Holly approach Romika's car and heard the defendant, Holly, making threats towards Romika. Witness 3 walked closer to the incident at this time. She then observed the victim exit the Kia. And I'm just going to say this. In the heat of the moment, I could see Romika. I could see myself. Girl, who you think you talking to? Who think you're going to be unalive? But you talking all this ish. You threatening me. I'm going to talk my ish back. So I don't look at Romika bad by getting out of her car or saying, what? You know what I mean? Because again, this is all because of Carlos. But they said that the victim exited the Kia. When she did, they observed Carlos place her in a chokehold with his right arm while striking her with his left. Witness 4 observed Romika unarmed with her hands in the air trying to break free from Carlos' grasp. Witness 3 heard the defendant make threats to Pow Romika, and heard witness 1 tell Romika, "Hey, she got a gun." The defendant then went to her vehicle. Was that an order? When Carlos told Romika she got a pow? Was that an order for her to go to her car and get that pow since she heard him say she got a pow? Because she didn't have it on her. But the defendant then went to her vehicle and was observed by witness 3 retrieving a handgun and then stand on the sidewalk. Billy Badass. The victim was able to break free from Carlos's hold and took steps away from the defendant. Took steps away from Holly. Witness 3 then observed the defendant point that handgun at Romika, walk toward Romika, and then started firing multiple times with a pause between the first and the subsequent shots. Witness 4 had just turned to walk away when he heard the one pow, a pause followed by 2 more pows. He looked toward the direction of the gunshots and observed the defendant holding a black pow. The victim was struck multiple times and collapsed. Witness 3 observed witness 1 move to the victim's body and move her slightly west. She then called 911 and reported that the defendant, Holly, shot the victim. Witness 3 also observed witness 1 and the defendant fist bump. A mess. Yeah, we only got 3 more pages. Officers arrived and observed the victim unresponsive, unarmed, and laying in a pool of blood. They observed that she had been shot in the face and leg. Whew. Witness 1 was still on the scene and covered in blood. Carlos. The defendant was also on the scene and had blood on her pants and hands. So for people that were saying that picture that was floating around was AI and all of that, it was not. Literally had Romika's blood on her hands. The victim was transported to the hospital, and we know that she was pronounced deceased. Rest in peace to Romika. Real quickly, witness 2, 3, and 4 were still on the scene when the officers arrived. Witness 2 identified Holly as one of the women he saw arguing minutes earlier. Now, I know exactly who witness 2 is. Y'all remember? Oh, I can't play it. But anyway, the guy that was on video yelling, there was a couple people yelling at Holly. One chick said, when Holly said, "I'm licensed to carry," and she said, "I don't give a F." But so yeah, I know who that guy is now. I do. Anyway, the defendant was detained and admitted to shooting Romika from her Chevy. Officers recovered that one loaded 9mm handgun. Evidence technicians processed the scene, recovering 3 shell casings. Ballistics analysis revealed that all 3 of those spent shell casings were fired from her gun. So again, for the attorney saying, well, it hasn't been proven if she the one that pow is proven. The defendant, Holly, refused medical attention and was transported to the police station where she claimed self-defense and acknowledged that it was the first time she had ever seen the victim in person. The defendant did have a valid FOID card and CCL at the time of the shooting. All right. Oh, shoot. I done removed it again, child. Let's see. I'm not going to go through all of that. So let's read what the court found, and then we'll be out of here until our next meeting, which will probably be, what's today? Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. Most likely Friday. But upon hearing the state's position to deny pretrial release, the courts find that the state petition for let me stop. Upon hearing the state's petition to deny pretrial release, the court finds that the state has shown by clear and convincing evidence that the proof is evident of the presumption great that the defendant has committed an eligible offense. DMV, each have a child with, we know that, the bomb. The court found that the defendant does pose a real and present threat to the safety of any person. You, chat, myself, I'm scared, and I'm not even in the state. I'm scared. Keep her in there, please. But they found that, yeah, she does pose a threat to her community. The court found that no condition or combination of conditions can mitigate the real and present threat to the safety of any persons or community. The chick pow somebody bat a school. So yeah, nobody is safe, even the children. Let's see, couple more. They said that if she would have been released, that she would have posed a serious risk to not appear in court as required. So that is basically everything. As far as the first thing that I wanted to cover with you guys. And if I had to, we'll do a mock vote as of today. I did this with the Diddy trial as well. But let's say that was it. Let's say everything I just read. I'm going to do this after each time I read a document. Let's say that was closing arguments. With what you've heard thus far, put a 1 in the chat if you think. Hold on. With what you've heard thus far tonight, put a 1 in the chat if you think she is guilty, and put a 2 in the chat if you think not guilty. Give me your mock vote. I'm gonna go ahead and block them tools, child, if I see them. All right, child. Put it. Oh, child, I put guilt tree. Guilt tree. That should have been guilty. Let's see. Brittany Janae said, I wanted to ask Holly, was Carlos worth being locked up and ruin your life? Baby, I bet money that she now realized he is not. That's why I call her for my man Holly. That's why I call her that. And absolutely, she's kicking herself in the earth every day, every night. My position is clear. I hope she's there for the remainder of her life. I do. But let's say eventually there's some type of plea deal. When I searched this before, as far as possible pleas when it comes to first degree murder and all of that, most times they will still plea down to about 25 to 30 years. That's a long ass time. But we won't lie. So, yeah, she ruined her life. We know that she absolutely not only ruined, but ended Romika's life, ruined baby Amir's life, ruined Romika's mother and family's lives. And yes, ruined hers. Because that Negro still out here. Let me go to his Facebook page real quick. Still out here doing his normal daily activities like he was doing when Romika was alive and Holly was not locked up. He in the gym. He traveling. Taking pictures. This one is in some bar, chow, a restaurant it looked like. Yeah. Still posting about Romika. Then the next day he posting about Holly. So I would absolutely regret it. And I know she does. We'd never know, but I can guarantee you she done told her friends, whoever accept her collect calls, her family. She regretted. And I am not here to give Holly any type of advice. But like I told you guys before, I be damn if I be sitting up in jail by myself. They can't do anything to me because I'm not being held on charges. I will, and she don't even have to make up much. Because I do think that they both, my opinion, only conspired together. But I'll put some sauce on it, baby. I will put some sauce on it. Yeah, Your Honor. You see that rap video that he made talking about concealed weapons? Guess what? He just kept pounding in my head and pounding in my head, pounding in my head. If I do this, I'm going to get off. I say anything to get his ass right there. It's not going to get her off. But I be damned if I'm locked up and you out there still doing you. Let's hope well, if she's smart, sis, she will take a plea deal. If she's smart, and that is the chatter that's going around currently. And you guys know I'll get to that and talk about it. But that plea deal is still not gonna be okay. If you tell us, give us Carlos, we're gonna let you out with time served, or 5 years, or 10 years. No, she's still gonna have to serve some time. Big time. All right. I see all these ones. I was looking for them tools, child, so I could block y'all. Guilty. Reenie, guilty. KG, let me go back up and see what you said. Keyword away. Or something that I said, huh? Maybe that's why they want DNA to see if Carlos' DNA was on her body. His DNA was absolutely all over Romika's body. But they also, sis, in my opinion, wanted that DNA testing done again for forensics and whose DNA is on the weapon, all of that. But yeah, his DNA is all over that scene. I just mentioned how he tracked through her blood. He absolutely at one point was bending down over Romika. So yeah, his DNA on her body. Okay, guilty, 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 guilty. I think okay, I got that. Guilty. All right. We are on y'all. I got the right people over here. Hey, let's be clear. I got the right folks in the building. Guilty. Uh, Angel I said, I think she does not have any remorse for what she has done. Well, we know that I would never, you know, I don't know. I don't know. One could think that, but them lonely days and nights in jail, whether she's remorseful or not doesn't make a difference to me. But I think she probably does. Now, will she ever? Well, she can't come out and say it because she locked up. But will it ever be known to us? No. Will her attorney absolutely say there's some remorse? Yes. But how could you not? We know she was cold hearted. Don't get me wrong. But how could you not be remorseful for what you have done? That's crazy. But I feel you, sis. I do. I do. All right, couple more. Let's see. Let's see. Yes. Okay. One, does Carlos have three babies with a third woman? That was rumors that were floating around out here. I don't think that there is a baby yet. I do know that there were rumors going around that some chick was pregnant. Then there was rumors coming around. I mean, not coming around, coming out that she wasn't pregnant. So I can't answer you, child. Everything I say is alleged. I don't know any of these people, but I did hear that. Again, pregnant, not yet had the child. So I don't know, you may have heard it somewhere else, and I'm not saying that what they said is not true. I just don't know. Okay. Yeah, girl, he be over there begging folks for toe pictures and everything else. Yeah, do the replay, sis, because I've been here an hour and 46 minutes. Me too, and I'm in Florida. Okay, got you, got you. Yes, ma'am. In my opinion, she will get time for each charge. The pow pow in the school zone carries 20 alone. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And it is what it is. Miss, I would never. Child, look what you have gotten yourself into. And when it comes to no empathy, no remorse, or I'm gonna say no empathy, no sympathy, she gets none of that from me. None. Romika is gone. Zero. Zero. I'm sorry. That poor baby. Poor baby Amir. Mama dropped him off at school, wrote that beautiful, beautiful note to her baby. Oh my goodness. Told me up then and now. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I'm not gonna do it because child, I start crying. I was gonna find that note and just read it on my way out. But yeah, I can't. I can't. I can't. He is too despicable. She must not be too bright to do his dirty work. Never, never. I would never have done it. Right. Yeah, sometimes unfortunately, and the sad thing is this not like a one and doneer. There are women out here that crash out on a daily, men out here that crash out on a daily. So, Holly is now a part of that club. For my man club. And I can guarantee you, it may not be right away. Carlos eventually gonna find him a dummy to marry and be with. Live with, even if he don't marry. So, Holly, in my opinion, always thought that she was the chosen one. And the reason why I say that again is what we read earlier. Her attorney said Romika was distraught at the sight of Holly. Oh my God. Look at this. Beauty. Oh my God. Come on now. Um, yeah, it's videos out here about people that are locked up with her. Yeah, she needs to get life. Period, point blank. What's supposed to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen tomorrow? H Fisher, that is just and I read it at the start of this live. Give me 1 second. I'll give you the official name. So I got so many things open over here. Give me 1 second. Tomorrow is a felony court call. So there's not going to be any witnesses. There's not going to be any discussions or pleas or anything like that. What that felony court call is a hearing, basically like an administrative hearing. It's a check-in, and the judge is going to call all of the cases that's scheduled tomorrow, and it is really is used whether to determine if they are ready for trial, if they need a continuance, or if they are moving toward a plea. I will be shocked if it is reported tomorrow that Holly's lawyer has advised her to move toward a plea deal. So she does bronze to the bone. Oh my goodness, I have said that so much. Definitely resembles, and rest in peace to Kim Porter as well, for sure. But that'll be some shocking news. Whatever happens tomorrow, I'll be coming to you guys with it. But yeah, basically they will say, attorneys, the judge, are you guys ready for trial? No, Your Honor. Do you need a continuance? Yes, Your Honor. Or are we moving toward a plea deal? That's it. That's all. So no witnesses, no evidence, no testimony, no nothing will be discussed during this hearing tomorrow. But wow, wouldn't it be something if they say we're ready for trial? I honestly think our attorneys are going to say we need more time, because they do need more time. Child, based off of everything, they need more time. Yeah, I think they're going to get them, sis. I really do. All right. Bronze to the bone, thank you for dropping in. Shout out to each and every one of you. Shout out to 148 of you that are currently watching. If you did not hit the like button, please hit that like button for me. I hope you guys like the deep dive, because I'm not done. I have made so many notes and all of that, and will continue when it comes to this trial. There are YouTube platforms like Law and Crime Network or other podcasts, and I really, really enjoy this type of content, especially taking a deep dive, especially being able to have discussions with you guys, see if we missed something, see if we were able to clear up some things, get the facts versus fiction and all of that. So even once they find Holly guilty and sentence her to life, we will still be discussing other cases. I will be taking it back as well for somebody that was already sentenced, and so many similarities to me when it comes to Holly. And so we'll be discussing that as well. So I'm gonna try to do Holly one day, the other case the next, and so forth. But I thank you guys. You enjoyed it, Reenie? Yes, that's my thing. I do not miss Dateline of 2020. Child, I need to go back and start watching For My Man if they got any new episodes. If not, we got somebody that could be a star, bro. We got somebody that could be a star on your show. Y'all go ahead and do something for Holly Johnson, For My Man, or Snapped on Oxygen. DC, thank you for being here. Can you guys, I told you guys we're going to start this off with justice for Romika, and we are going to end it off with justice for Romika. If you can put in the chat Justice for Romika Blackman Meeks. Prayers going up again to her family, to her friends. Let me say this: Romika's support system representing, and they have been representing her sisterhood group, her friends, and the way that they show up to court representing in their pink and all of that is absolutely commendable. It really, really is. And they said, look, am I my sister's keeper? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And kudos to them as well. You know, we need you to head home to cover the trial. Girl, bye. I ain't going back to the trial. Okay, I was gonna say, baby, the way they cutting up in Chicago. Yeah, but the trial, absolutely. I will be there. I will be in the building for sure. Not gonna miss it. So whenever it is announced, vacate days and everything else will be put in, and you guys know then I'll be coming live from the courthouse every day. 145 likes, 138 in the chat. Thank you for the justice for Romika's. Romika, we love you. We are praying for you, praying for baby Amir. Absolutely. Let's be clear. Her mom, Tina, and her sisters. Her sister that spoke after that court case. Love her. Love them all. The other sister who went live the day after the incident, crying and saying, it's true, y'all. It's true. My sister is gone. I'll never forget it. So prayers going up to that family. Prayers going up to whoever put them paws on Carlos after that court day. Because I don't think he showed up since, have it? I don't think he's shown back up to court since. Yes. You'll go with me, Angela. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Whenever they announce it, it's a done deal. It is a done deal. My sister is there, and she loves Romika as well, and is highly enthralled in this case. So her and I absolutely spoke about, when that trial comes, we'll be there, front and center. Justice for Romika and her family to heal and get peace from Holly unaliving her for no damn reason. Thank you, Anissa. Yes, ma'am. Justice for Romika. They have a new one. I'd unalive to be you. What? What channel, Rainy? Girl, let me know. This is why I'm scared sleeping in this house now. This is why I go to sleep with one eye open and one eye closed, because I'm looking at all these shows. Look at my scary, and I'm not scary. Don't get me wrong. But as soon as I said that, my window where my desk is, the blinds were still open, child, and it's dark. I just closed them blackout, thinking somebody peeking through my damn windows. Let me know, Rainy, before we go. But shout out again to each and every one of you. Thank you guys. Okay, TV one. Let me write it down before we go. If I'll make time for shows like this just to watch on my free time. What was it? I'd unalive to be you. Wow. Don't be shocked, guys, if you end up seeing Holly Johnson on one of them shows coming to a TV screen near you. Most times they do wait until the person has been found guilty, those type of shows. But do like the first 48. Put them credits up at the end, and everything is alleged. I'm gonna give me some credits to scroll just like that on this page. This person is, and I must say this before I go. I'm glad I thought of it. Oh, let me find something real quick, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Let me do it over here. But we haven't gotten into anything yet, guys. Hold on. Yep, this is just what I need. All right. Hold on, guys. I know y'all sick of me saying hold on, but hold on. Let's see. Will you fit? Will everything fit? Nope. Okay, but this is good enough. Okay. Save. So before I get out of here, I must say that at this stage, every individual, including for my man Holly, is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. An arrest is not a conviction, and charges are not evidence. So we will allow the legal process to unfold. We respect due process and remember that everyone has the constitutional right to a fair and impartial hearing. Everything discussed here is based on publicly available information and remains alleged until a judge or jury determines otherwise. All right, so yeah, I stick that in something, but I wanted to put that up there because yeah, if you see that on First 48 and all them other shows, they do it for a reason. And I'm glad I thought to do it as well. Right. I don't know if I can still say recently divorced, but it hasn't hit 2 years yet. So yeah, child, being in this house, I do be peeping around corners when I hear something, but I watch them shows faithfully. Faithfully. So probably fall asleep watching one tonight. Thank you, KG. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And KG said another great live as usual. Justice for Romika, her son, and her family and friends. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I thank you guys. And we screaming justice for Romika until there is true justice for Romika. So I appreciate you guys again. Thank you for joining me. If you have not hit that like button on your way in, please hit the like button on your way out. Shout out to my cutie mods, Teresa Wright and Linda Gamble, both legends. They don't play out in these streets, okay? Shout out to my cute tea sisters. Shout out to them sisters, child. Love you guys so much. And shout out to each and every one of you. Thank you guys again for joining me. To all of you that participated in this discussion tonight with your comments and all of that. I appreciate you, and I'll chat with you guys soon. Bye. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT. With QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT.